In everyone's life, we've been given hope and inspiration by one person or another to carry on, to continue to work hard so that you'll be able to achieve your dreams and goals. So Youth Talk Africa brings you a very inspiring and touching segment. We call it Youth Inspire, where we talk to extraordinary personalities with extraordinary stories that would inspire and motivate the youth to go for their dreams. If you have an extraordinary story, like our page, subscribe to our YouTube channel at Youth Talk Africa, and hit us up on the contact numbers on your screen. We will come and we will tell your story. Today I'm here in Nyampala, UDS campus, to listen to an extraordinary story from an extraordinary personality. I first read his story on social media when a friend of mine, Mr. Ben Doche, who works with the United Nations, posted his story on Facebook. His story will give you goosebumps. His story will inspire you. From being a security guard to being a university graduate, this is the story of Agbedor Richard, who features on Youth Inspire today. Mr. Richard Agbedor,
Mr.
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. It's an honor to have this conversation with you.
Oh, wow.
Can you sit?
Okay.
All right, thank you very much.
Nice
to meet you again. Yeah, it's really a privilege to have you on my show, Youth Talk Africa. So I first read his story on social media from a friend, Mr. Ben Doche, who works with the United Nations, and his story will give you goosebumps. His story will inspire you from a security guard to a university graduate, from grass to grace. Let's meet the man. Let's get talking. Youth Talk Africa. We are the voice. Mr. Agbedor,
Yes.
welcome to Youth Talk Africa.
Thank you very much.
I've read a lot about you,
Wow.
and I must say I'm really inspired
Wow.
by your story. But I would like us to inspire many other young people with your story. Okay. I must say congratulations.
Thank you
for
very much.
being able to go through from a security guard to a university graduate. But then we'll take the story bit by bit. You are a very humble, down-to-earth person.
Okay.
From the story I read,
Yeah.
and from my personal interaction with you, you are a very humble person. Would you say that made you, that brought you that brought you this far?
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm. How is that?
Okay. Because so far as in fact most of us we know that humility will take you to appear before kings.
Wow.
Wow. And I know most of us we believe and we know that God exalt someone who is humble, and if you are proud of yourself, God will bring you down. So in fact, I'm boldly to say that, you are
humble.
Yeah.
Wow. Richard, let's get straight to the point.
Okay.
Before you became a security man, were you going to school?
Yeah, I was going to school. I was going to school. Actually, I finished with my senior high school.
Wow.
And I said, oh, let me engage myself with any work that will bring money, so that one day I can continue with my tertiary education.
Your ambition to tertiary education.
Yes.
So would you say it was just for hardship that made you not go to school after your secondary education? How is home like? What is the situation at home?
Okay. You know, my father is a peasant farmer,
Wow.
and my mother too, a trader. And in fact, it was tough. If it were not tough, like I would not find myself doing security job. I want to say gate man. So in fact, it was really tough. Yeah, it was really tough.
Why didn't you do any other job aside security man? Could it be that you couldn't find any other job?
Yeah, that was the job available because I was looking for job for
As quick as possible.
yes. So that was the available job. That was no.
Okay.
Let me engage myself.
Okay. Were you making enough money from being a security guard or a security officer?
Wow. I remember we're not paying much salary, but in fact, I may say that like I was managing. Yeah, let me say I was managing. Managing.
Wow. So what was the point that brought your mind to going back to school? At what point in time did you feel that I have to go back to school?
Okay. Actually, I already had it in mind that I will continue with my.
You had the ambition to go back to school.
Yes,
okay.
yes. And I remember one Sunday morning around 9 a.m. I can still remember the time. And Mr. Bendo Chimalo came back from church, and he said, "Young man, come." You know, so I went closer to him, and he said, I'm too young, and
smart.
You are smart. So you have something better than this security job. So go to school.
Wow.
Go to school. So in fact, I remember I told him that like I don't have enough fund to continue with my
your education.
With my education.
Yeah. That's how come you were doing security job.
Yes. So actually I was touched. And once he told me that I should go to school so that one day when I'm passing by cantonment, I can stop and tell my children and my wife that I was once security here. So in fact I went and I thought of it. I said no.
That really struck you.
Yeah, and I said no. If this man can tell me this, then it is possible.
It's possible.
It is possible.
Wow.
It's possible.
So would you say that single conversation, those inspiring words from Mr. Bendoche, were the words that got you thinking of really going back to school? Because I know most of the times there are things you want to do, but you don't have the means. So you can even get to an extent of even abandoning it. But did that conversation bring you back to reality?
Oh yes. Yes. Yes.
Wow. Okay. Fast forward.
Okay.
How did you get to go to school? We know that you didn't have the money. Your family weren't well-to-do.
Okay.
Your dad wasn't. Your mom wasn't. Okay. How did you? How did you get to school? From buying of your form to paying your school fees, how did it happen?
Okay.
Was it a miracle?
I may say yes, because I remember that I was having but they gave us the March salary.
That was when you were still a security guard. Okay.
So and after that I said no. What Mr. Bendoche told me I must take action. So I bought the form from my salary.
From the salary.
Yes, and I told my parents that Dad, Mom.
At that point, you didn't expect to get money anywhere to pay your school fees.
Oh yes.
But you went to buy the form.
Oh yes.
Wow.
Yes. So when I told them, Mom, Dad, I've bought the
form for the school.
Yeah, a form for the school. And I remember I bought two forms. One Winneba and UDS here.
Wow.
So
after buying the forms, like from that your salary, did you have any money left?
Okay, it was left with 250 Ghana.
Okay, from your salary.
Yeah, it was left with 250 Ghana. So
after buying the forms.
Yeah, after buying the forms. So in fact then
you told your parents.
Yeah, and I remember they said no, son, it is better you find some teacher training college or any Greek training college. In fact, it will be better. Yes,
because they cannot afford to pay, I mean, the school fees of a university.
Yes.
So they wanted you to go for something that probably, I mean, in their struggle, they could still be able to do something rather than going straight to university.
Yes.
But why didn't you, I mean, listen to their advice? Because they know they were going to be in trouble. Or you were just ambitious to realize your dream?
Yeah, I was really ambitious, and in fact, I had it in me. I had it in me that no matter what someone say it takes, I'm going back to school. So if I remember, immediately I bought the form. About 2 months, 2 or 3 months later, I went back to village. I told my parents that I'm coming to prepare to go to school.
Wow.
I'm coming to prepare to go to school.
Wow.
And if they was like, but what is happening to this boy? I said, I'm going to school. Going to school. Yeah. So one Saturday morning, my parents went to farm, and I was about following them to the farm, and I said, no, let me use my phone to check the admission list. So I checked, and I was picked, and I had admission to the UDS here.
That's University for Development Studies, Nampala campus, here in Northern Region. Wow. So at that point, when you realized that you were picked and you had no money, weren't you scared?
Yeah, I was scared. I was scared, but I was still having faith that since I have declared that I'm going to school, I will go.
Wow.
I will go.
You must have some faith in you.
Oh yeah, I'm a strong Christian. I'm a strong Christian.
Wow. So how did you get to pay your school fees after now that they've picked you? I know it would have been some mixed feelings. You are happy, and then you are also sad that you cannot pay your fees.
Exactly.
How did you pay your fees?
Exactly.
Your admission fees and all that.
In fact, actually, as I already said, that my father was a peasant farmer, and my mother to a trader. So my mother used to save money at the roller bank. So in fact, she went and took loan. To pay my admission fee. Wow. Yeah, so that was how I was able to pay it, and the small damage I was having, I added it.
So you went and pushed the old lady to go and then pick a loan and I think she never dreamt of ever doing that. But for your faith and you wanting to do it so bad, she wouldn't have gone to that extent. Wow. So finally, you got to pay your admissions and all of that, and you came to UDS.
Yes.
How was, I mean, because I know by then, after paying your fees, you might have come to school in empty stomach.
Exactly.
This is a really serious issue. How was school life treating you? How was school life like when you came to school with no money and all of that?
Wow. I remember I brought only one bag, and that bag contains gari, shito, and my things with my small mattress.
Wow.
That was the only things that I brought. In fact, hoping that, in fact, I'll still eat. If I don't bring food, I know that I will eat.
Wow.
Yes, in fact, that was the faith that I was having. In fact, but I must say that life was tough on campus, and I can remember even my roommate, Frank Mboti. He can testify. In fact, sometimes we beg for gari.
Okay.
In fact, I remember one guy at my hostel. He ever told me that, in fact, what kind of poverty is that? Okay, let me ask
this question. Has there ever been a time that you had to beg to survive on campus?
Oh yeah. That's what I was saying. That if I've ever begged for gari, if I not even rice or banku.
Gari.
Yeah, gari.
Just to be able to eat.
Yeah,
and then study.
Yeah.
Wow. You're laughing as if it's a joke, but this is serious.
No, but
This should be really trying times for you back then.
oh, in fact, I may say that.
Wow.
In fact, I've won the victory. So if you see me smiling, but it means that if I've been through, I've been through something tough, and now
Wow.
I'm out of that for good.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
Wow. So let me ask you this question.
Okay.
What has life taught you over this short period of your rather stressful life? What has life taught you?
In fact, I've learned many things. I've learned many things.
Wow.
I've learned many things. You know, life may not be as how you want it. You know, life is practical. Life is practical, and in fact, it's not mystical.
Wow.
In fact, it's not anything mysterious. But
It's practical.
Yes.
As you do it.
Yes.
What you do.
Yes.
Is that what you sow is what you reap.
Yes.
Wow.
And I remember one man called Jimmy Cliff. He said something. He said, "You can get it if you want it."
The reggae musician.
Yes, you
Wow.
can get it.
If you really want it.
Yeah, if you really want it.
And you wanted it and you got it.
Yeah, and I got
Wow.
it. And I
Wow.
got it. In
Wow.
fact,
Wow.
and I want to also say that, in fact, life. So, you see, some people used to say that no condition is permanent, and I really agreed with that. And I really agreed with that. In fact, whichever situation someone is, in fact, remember that it is not permanent.
Wow.
Anything that you are going through in life, in fact, it is never permanent, depending on how you handle it. Yeah.
Through the challenges in school,
Okay.
has there ever been a time that somebody did something to you that made you cry, that made you felt that, imagine if my parents also had there ever been a situation like that you felt so bad? Somebody did something because probably you asked for something and then the person... Has there ever been a situation like that? Probably you wanted to buy something and you never had, and you felt it inside.
Yeah. Yeah. It was one day I took a friend of mine silver to cook beans.
Wow.
And and the guy said, "Oh, like he's coming to cook." What guy came for the silver? All of a sudden, the guy came and poured my food on the ground.
Wow.
Yeah, because I was not having silver to
cook.
Yeah, to cook.
Wow.
So the guy poured my food on the ground, and that day, I just went inside. I slept without eating.
Wow.
I felt bad, but I never cry.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Men don't cry.
Wow. Men don't cry, really. Okay. Wow. So now you've finished school. You are doing your national service as a teaching assistant. Am I right?
Yeah.
In Nyampala campus, UDS, right?
Yes.
What next after school and after national service?
Okay, I want to continue with my masters.
Wow.
I want to continue with my masters. Yeah.
Wow. You must really be ambitious.
Oh yeah.
Wow. You want to continue to go ahead and then do your master's degree.
Oh yeah.
If I may ask, where do you want to do your master's degree? Which university do you want to study?
Okay. Like I want to.
You never know. Somebody might,
Oh, okay.
Or that particular university might even be watching us or listening to us.
Oh, okay. All right, then let me speak now.
Okay.
I prefer Wageningen University in Netherlands.
In Netherlands.
Yes.
Wow.
And University of Bristol.
Wow.
And
California
Baptist University.
Any of those universities?
Yeah, any of those universities.
Wow. Well, you've heard Richard. he wants to go back to school. I believe he's really a mark of a great personality. As our listeners or our viewers, if you are touched by his story and you want to help Richard go back to school to do his masters, it's really going to make him a better person. It's really going to make him more greater. So we would request, or we would appeal that through this program, you support Richard to go and do his masters. Okay, so let's get talking.
Okay.
And I hope and pray that we get somebody to get you to go. I mean, to go through your masters, because I'm really touched by inspirational stories like yours. People who are so determined, people who want to get it by all means, and that is why we are here to hear your story in the first place. So I'm really hopeful that definitely you would get the opportunity to, just as you had faith, you get the opportunity to go and then pursue your masters as well. Okay, so let me ask you, what message do you have for a lot of youth who are watching Youth Talk Africa and are at the verge of giving up because they find themselves in difficult positions? What would you want to tell them?
Okay, right. What I will first say that they should not give up, and because in fact you become what you think. If you begin thinking failure or thinking that why me, you know, some people ask themselves why me. No, don't rather ask yourself why me. Ask yourself, what am I going to do, how am I going to assess my situation. So in fact they should think that they are the top, in fact, and follow what they think, because I already said that you become what you think. And also, you know, some people say majority carry the vote, but it's not always a majority carry the vote. Sometimes some people may be saying that no, in fact it's better you go and lay some trade, or in fact it's better you go and find something doing
where you belong.
In fact you'll be getting at least a hand to mouth. No.
Pursue whatever you dream of.
No, pursue it hard, and pursue it hard. In fact, and I remember a story. Father, I read a story about a guy called Redmond, a 400 meters Olympic sprinter.
Wow.
On one occasion, he was going on a race, and few meters into the race, he felt a severe pain, and with agony, he persisted that he would still finish the race.
Wow.
And but the more he continued, the more the pain. So he fell on the ground.
Wow.
So breaking through the security, here came his father, and the father said, "No, son, you must not do this. You must not do this. Why are you doing this?" And he said, "Father, I must do it."
Wow. Wow.
And the father said, "Okay, then let me hold you." And so the father held the waist of
the
Redmond, and they continued the journey. In fact, by this time around, they were walking.
Wow.
And so a few meters to the end of the race, the father left him. Said, "Now, son, finish the race."
Wow.
So Redmond went, and about 5 seconds to finish the race, all of a sudden, about 65,000 people stand
to give him a standing ovation.
Yeah, stand to give him
a standing ovation.
Yeah, a standing ovation.
Wow.
In fact, and I was like, wow. So in fact, and
so
what
it means
I learned,
that it doesn't matter whether you are first or not. Just try and then finish the race.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, you can be the first, but you may not be the last. The best. Yeah, you may be the first, but you may not be the best. Being the first is different from being at the best.
Wow. I must say I'm really inspired by your story, and I hope it will inspire a lot of other youth out there. Finally, would you want to say thank you to anyone who probably have helped you in any way to through your journey?
Oh yeah, yeah. I want to first of all thank the Almighty God and also my parents, um, Mr. Clemens and Madam Mary, and also my boss, Bendoche
Wow.
Malo.
Exceptional.
In fact, I'm grateful. I'm really grateful, and also our pastors, Apostle W. Pihini, and Apostle Sami, Apostle Tevo, and Brother Alfred. In fact, and all my friends and my families, and in fact, one of my best friends. Elia Gidie. If I was at the cantonment there with me, in fact, they have been helping me most of the times. And in fact, I may not be able to mention
all the names. Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
but
Richard, we are so grateful for your time.
well, thank
And I would want to tell you to pursue your dreams. Don't let your current circumstance to determine where you would be in the future. Just as you said, whatever you wish to do, whatever you want to do, you can do it. Thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.
And to our viewers, you've all heard him. His story is so inspirational. It tells us you don't necessarily have to be first. Just try to finish the race. My name is Ham Ibrahim Banangmini, and I'm your host for Youth Talk Africa. And we would like to thank Mr. Bendoche, who works with the United Nations, for telling the story of Richard, where we saw his story and then took it up upon us. And if you also have a story that would inspire somebody to make his or her life better, you can contact us on the contact informations on your screen. We would definitely get in touch with you and come and then tell your story. It is very important that the words you speak to people, you make sure they are positive words. If Mr. Bendoche was not encouraging Richard, probably he wouldn't have been here today. And you all heard him. He wants to pursue his master's degree. If you can help him, contact us. We will link you with Richard. And thanks for watching today's edition of Youth Inspire. We continue to inspire the youth, give them the opportunity to make or to tell their stories. Thanks so much for watching, and see you same time next week.